Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Thursday and more tank fun. Right, it was a bit of a quick one tonight. Good evening, Ash. How is you? Just check everything's in place. Got that. Hello, Tomo, and cheers to everyone. Mate, Darth Vader, huge mug. It's got 2 coffees in there because I'm knackered tonight. Just having ideas with tanks. So tonight we are going to be doing Russian tanks. I'll go to the tanks in a minute. Good evening, Captain Rex. How are you? So, continuing on from... Can you actually hear the... So I apologise, we've got fireworks going on outside. So it's very thematic. We've got World War going on. Good evening, shenanigans. How is you? Got a new game for you. High direct painting. I hope everyone is safe, locked down, and nice and warm inside tonight. Which reminds me, I need to turn that fire off. Yeah, I did think we would only get the big pops and bangs and whizzes. So, to the... That one was just here. God damn it. Sorry. Swearing and blaspheming and all that. So, any of yous that were around last night saw us start and paint the Stug. You can actually see now it's dry. You can actually see the different colouring on the panels where the airbrushes picked it up. And so, after doing it and discussing and having a chat with Snowy while playing World of Tanks last night, he shouted at me. He really shouted at me. So, apparently, you never use metallics painting tanks. So, me doing the Typhus Corrosion and then the Necron Compound to give my trusty track colouring, I was bad boy. So, what I have done is I've gone over it again while off air, sorry. He is a big meanie. So what I've done is where I'd done the Necron Compound, the Necron Compound goes back on the shelf and we don't touch it. I replaced it with Dawnstone, which is just a non-metallic version of it. So all of this is now grey along here, and it is just the grey from that. We did some added weathering from chipping and stuff around some of the plating. Got some weathering in on the corner bits just to give it a bit of a finish. And we are calling it at that. So that is how we did it. Now, we did have some questions and basically asking us about how we do exactly the same sort of level of detail and colouring and stuff without an airbrush. Hi, Foxy. Now, I don't think you could get exactly the same because the panels where we built it up in the centre. But what we're going to do tonight is using some test colours underneath, and these are the colours that Jack, if he's about, recommended we use. So we're going to do the SU-100 and one of my favourite tanks in World of Tanks at the moment, the T-35, the little Dakka gun on the front. Sorry. We're going to do them, but I'm going to dry brush them instead of using the airbrush. So, yes, Tomo. The 2 greens that I'm going to use for the Russian stuff is Intermediate Green, which was from the Panzer series set. We did have one of them in stock, but unfortunately it's all gone now. And refractive. It's not reflective, it's refractive. I was looking for reflective. I'm silly like that. So it was a 50-50 mix of the pair that Jack did. So what we're going to do is start off using the refractive green neat. So into the pot, and let's go to the medium close. So bring these down here. There we go. So what we're going to do is, it's a bit of a heavy dry brush. But you can see the paint going on because it is a slightly different green. So as I say, quite a heavy dry brush to get the green down. And I'm not priming it because basically these are pre-primed. As good evening, Archnet. A morning. So again, just going over it, and that gives you, in fact, we should be able to do this under the close. There we go. So, and underneath, a little bit thicker because it's just underneath, and I'm not trying to, it's just a big flat panel. And then so same on the turret. And again, this is just a quick way to get it from the box to the table and looking just a little bit better than the plain one colour. I'm not in any doubt that I'm going to get it anywhere near Jack's, but hopefully you'll be able to follow this technique. And so you can see there is a slight difference. That looks a little bit green. Right, and the SU is going to be the same. Just holding it down. So you can actually hear the roughness of the what I'm going to call is I don't know if the reflective's going to be in. It could be, mate. I've never seen the Panzer series in there. We are going to look at getting some in. I've just stocked some of the Tamiya tank paints. And I think I'll get some bits and pieces of the tank colours. Obviously there's going to be quite a lot. Yeah. We've been there, heard that. Got the t-shirts kit. So again, underneath, giving it a good coat of the green. So I'm not too worried about hitting the tracks, because the tracks will get the other green on it, the typhus corrosion, because I'm still going to do the typhus corrosion method, but I'm just going to use grey to highlight it up. Yeah, there's definite fireworks going on. So they're down. That's the greens. So that's the basic greens. So what we've got in the pot is, and it is quite bright, is the refractive green. So Jack used intermediate green at 50-50. So what I'm going to do is the same. I'm going to put about half in, and then using an older brush, once I find one. He says looking for that one. Just mix them both together. I think where did I put it? Not that one. Just darken it up slightly. I'm trying to get something just a little bit toned down from that one. Sorry, toned up, so it's like a little bit brighter. And again with the dry brush. I did say a meme about V for Vendetta today, which was quite scary, because that was set this year, wasn't it? After the back of a virus and all of that sort of stuff. Good evening, Mark. So, what we've got now is, it's relatively dry because of it being a dry brush. So, what I'm going to do now is just do a proper dry brush with the I'd say it's more 75% of the reflective green. So aiming at these corners, bits where like the edge highlighting would normally go. If you aim for that, obviously all along the edges, fairly robust. You're not just trying to go on lightly, so you can see there's patches of light and dark in there now. And again, like I was saying last night about using the greys, yeah, I love V for Vendetta is one of my favourite. I've lost my mask because it broke, which I'm gutted about. Yeah, so we're building up again. Now, as I was saying last night, the Panzer set for the Panzer Grau, the grey, the 5 paints to get from the primer to the grey, you can just do what I'm doing now, is add a bit in to get that. Ooh, that's a bit much. To get that colour, I'm just adding the difference between 2 greens. So I'm going to go from the dark green in the recesses to the light green, but just by picking up bits with the dry brush. So I said the second coat, as it is quite robust. You're quite heavy-handed with it. So your green goes to that, and I'll do the same on this one. So you're getting most of the things, like the edges, the corners, anything like that. So there's quite a good build up. Running down the edge of the mud guards. So, while Snowy's not here, who wants to see a Tesseract green tank? Let's get a good friend of mine. Yeah. So as you can see, it's picked up. You need to find out where Twitch is, Sean. I keep missing your messages over there, sorry. So now we've got that, next level, I do another squirt of the intermediate green. And quick mix into the already mixed mix. As you can see, it's going brighter as it goes along. Not Tesseract brighter, but it's going brighter. Ian, it is basically X-Wing, but with tanks. The starter set comes with more than enough. There's no factions like X-Wing. You get 4 tanks in the starter set. You get the Panzer. You get the, which one of them is it? Oh, the T-34 M4. There he is. Oh, that's the Sherman. That's the Sherman M4 and D Cromwell. So they all come in the starter set. There you go, that's better. So you get all of them in the starter set and all the cards. And then they've just done wave 1, which was the Stug, the SU, the Valentine, and the M3 Lee. So yeah, and the £9 each. Each expansion's like £9. If you want to see in comparison, there's Dooku and there's this tank. Yeah, the whole lot, all of the new the starter and all of the new tanks that are out is like 60-65 quid. And I've got to admit, so far I had massive fun painting that last night. It was amazing. So we're just hitting some of the raised edges now. So and on that edge again. So each time you're doing this, you're trying to do a little less, so you're getting the same sort of yes. I'd like to see that. There's a anime tank. Is it Tank School? It's on Netflix. You know, we'll have to have a look at it. Team America would be cool. Netflix. Search tank. Girls in Panzers. Yeah. I was going to do them all from Girls in Panzers because that would really trigger people. Might not trigger Seb, being a weeb and all that, but I think it would trigger a lot of people. Snowy'd have great fun watching it. So that you've got the green and you've got the patchiness and stuff like that, which is... I've got one more coat on it, and then you get the... I'm hoping the camera actually picks up, because they are very subtle colour changes from edges and stuff like that. Yes, Captain Rex, it is. I put it on because obviously I've been enjoying tanks and all kinds of tanks, but I watched it ages ago when I was just getting my World of Tanks feelings back. So if anyone's wanting to play World of Tanks, we've got a clan up and running. T Squadron is live on World of Tanks. We're having a good laugh. Even Sean's over there now. Oh, he's coming over and playing. Ash is working his way up. Ash has just got onto the T-34. The T-34 is probably one of my... I was very stuck on the German stuff because I do like the German tanks. I like the engineering and stuff like that. But yeah, dying happens a lot, mate. I go through more tanks than enough. Wasn't Tank Girl... Tank Girl was a film as well, wasn't it? Or was it just anime and I'm confused? Good evening, Doom Fairies. Welcome to another tank night. So that you can see the difference in the colours, and that's not using the airbrush, that is just using the dry brush method. So if you look at the bottom of the barrel, it's dark, and then obviously it's gone light on the top. Yes, it was. Yeah. Yeah, well, as I say, we're having so much fun on it at the moment, it's unreal. So I'm now going to use the intermediate neat on its own, not mixed into our original mix. So to start with, we did a heavy dry brush all over of the refractive. Then we added probably 25% intermediate, then another 25 to make it 50-50, and then another 25%, so building it up and up and up, so you're getting the layers and stuff like that. Oh, people in the kitchen. And the last one is the intermediate green as the final dry brush highlight, as it were. But I want a lot of this off the brush, so cleaning the brush quite a lot. Sup, Martin? So I'm just trying to get the fine edges, the mighty fine edges, and anywhere that's really going to catch the light, like there we go. I hope you can see that. You can actually see it's actually got shading and stuff and different undulations of the colours. Big words and all that. So The other thing that's helped blend it along is obviously I've been using the brush without cleaning it, so you've still got paint in there from the last time, so it helps blend as it goes. And see on the panels there, the panels do match pretty much, where you've got a dark bit in the middle as opposed to the light bit, so it's almost the same, but yeah, just in reverse from that one. And that's the basics. Thank you for the sub, Captain Rex. I missed that, sorry. Again, very light across the barrel, and again, these sharp edges are going to pick up the light a lot more than the and there's hardly any paint on, so you're having to go backwards and forwards quite a bit to get the colour to lay down. Sorry. To play World of Tanks on the tabletop is points based, mate. So there's 50-point games, 100-point games, 150-point games, and 200-point games recommended. You could probably do more, but it's round about 1, 2, 3, and 4 tanks. Tanks! Hello, X-Wing Tavern Wars. It is Tanks month, so we're going to be doing tanks this month from whatever and whenever, whoever, and by whatever we can find. So there you go. That actually shows that the paneling quite a lot. Good evening, Kinga. A lot better. So these are just the base colours, and that's just 2 colours blended and blended and blended and blended. Or 4 blendings. Now I clean the dry brush and get all of the paint out that I can, or I'll be having green on stuff for hours. Oop. Good evening, King. And that's that clean. They could be Transformers in disguise. Yes. That one. Does that help? Yeah, the way I drive some of these tanks, you can get airborne. Comet and Wolverine are both on there. So is the Tiger, I believe, is one as well. There was comments about a Tiger. Oh yeah, Tiger 1. Same, wave 4. So yeah. And right, what I'm going to quickly do is, again with the 65 points for the Tiger, yeah, I'll be taking it all day long. Tigers. So I'm just going to do all of the tracks and the underneath parts again in Typhus Corrosion. And it is just, I'll just mix it up in the thing. And you get to see more of it this time because Tigers are not last year. Tigers are absolutely amazing tanks. They're not as amazing as I'd like them in World of Tanks, but yeah. It's all about the Stug. Well, come join us, Mark. I'm sure we'll get some fun games in with all of the tanks that people want to play. It's all about the arty. I got the medal this afternoon because I had a quick go on it before coming on here for killing all 3 arty in one game. So quite pleased with that one, because it's not an easy one to get, because there is only ever 3 artillery in a game maximum. So I can't remember whose medal it is, but it's I only rammed one because I was in a medium, but it was 5 shots to kill them. One of them nearly got me as well. I was down on, I think, 11 health from like 1500 on my medium. But yeah, it's the first time I've ever got it, so I was quite chuffed. As I said, the other ones where you get 3 tank destroyers or 3 what they're called, 3 mediums, 3 lights and stuff like that, they're all quite easy because there's always loads of them in certain matches. But artillery is the pain, because the maximum you can have in one game is the 3. Unless it's a grand battle. I didn't think of the grand battles, yeah. We've only hit a couple of thank you for subscribing, Stormtrooper. We've only had, I think, 2. You've got to be tier 10 to get into the grand battles, and I think in the times that we've been doing them, we've only had like 2 or 3. They are good fun. 25 versus 25 tanks is quite hectic. I do really enjoy the ramming aspect of the tanks. It basically, if I hadn't rammed that one, it would have got a shot into me, so I was able to ram one while shooting the other one, and then only took 1 shotgun from the last one. So again, Typhus Corrosion. Take the tank off, the lid off that one. Let me check. I'm just double checking what colour the wheels were. So they are like a mucky green colour. So yeah, I can do that. Mucky green wheels and tyres and tracks. Move you to the back a bit. So remembering this paint, I'm using an old brush because of it having grit in it, and that grit gets into the bezel and it ruins the brushes. As you can see, it's like a hedgehog. Hi Sean, I'm just seeing names coming up on what's it called? YouTube. It's slow for some reason for notifications today. So this is what I was going to show you the other day. So if you go over the edge like that, you take a cloth, you get dirt built up, and it really does look good once it dries. Try not to get it on the rest of the tank leg, but if you're wanting dirt to run along the underside where it would, and try not to get any on the green. Let's try and clean some of that grit out of it. It's a good way of getting the weathering down on the underside, because you get streaks and stuff like that. So what we're trying to do is get it in between the tracks and the mud guards without getting too much on the mud guard. It's okay if it goes up under there because it just adds to the effect, but I'm trying not to get on any or much onto the rest of it. Change of glasses. There you go. So that side's done. I don't know. You can just see it's slightly mucky and grimy and that sort of stuff. If you want it clean except for the tracks, don't know why you would, but if you want it clean except for the tracks, you can just give that a quick whiz with the green again. We only did it in the base green, so it's not too much of a hardship to get it back. If you'd done all of the dry brushing and stuff like that, I'd be a lot more cautious in getting the tracks done. Oops. I stuck my finger in the green. So I'm also going to be looking at new products over the next couple of weeks as well for painting tanks. We've already found, I had the Panzer Aces set in stock, which didn't last very long at all. So I'm going to look for some other painting sets. I know a few people have been asking for them. Also, they're bringing their own set out. World of Tanks are bringing their own set out, and it is Vallejo as well. So as soon as I get that, I'll do a review and see how good it is. It just says 8 paints. Tomo read it out to us last night, and it's basically the 8 country paints. Oops, nearly. So you're going to get Russia, America, Britain and German paints, one of each colour. So I think it's going to be pretty close to what they are anyway. And then I'm guessing maybe it's a red, a black, a white or a grey, maybe it's a metallic, I don't know. And then apparently a wash, so there'll be I think they do like a Cheshire Cat tank. Both. I want I do want to do a Tesseract one. As I say, I got into trouble last night off Snowy for doing metallics on a tank. Apparently I'll get bad press and people start sending tiger heads in the mail to me for being horrific and doing tanks with metallics, because the tank crews would have never had anything metallic on the outside of a tank for shiny reflective reasons. So no, we're not just going with the purist. Can do all sorts. The thing is, the £9 a tank. Yeah. If I get... I had a Stug around here. Is it a Stug? Was it a Stug? It was a Stug. I had a spare Stug. I bought 2 by mistake. So having a spare one and painting it in scum as a tank faction, yeah. See, R2D2, C3PO one would be good. But yeah, I don't mind spending a few quid on a couple of daft tanks, because yeah, it's meant to be fun. We're wanting to do this for fun reasons. So the washes, I'm going to use some different washes this evening. Which are, and this is the main one that I wanted to try. So this is Army Painter's military shader. So a few people have said this, given good reviews on it, and it's like a greeny black. So let's have a piece of paper out. It comes in the kits that we sell. I don't think you're going to get to see that very well. So yeah, it's like it's greeny black, a very dark black, a very dark green shader. So I think this could be quite good for filling in the bits that we were doing with Nullen yesterday. But whereas the German tanks are a grey, with this being green, I think this wash will suit it a lot better. There you go. So this military, as I say, military shaders, it's in the set of washes, and the washes by Army Painter are really good. The range is really, there's like, the blue's probably one of the better blues that I use. The darkened dark tone is very much like Nullen, but again, as I've said before, it has different properties. It just handles differently. It can stain a bit more, but it also has the same ability that Nullen. You can quickly clean it off, which is really good. I've never tried after a long time with this one. I know Nullen is very hard to get off after a while. I know the Vallejo stuff you can actually do quite well with, to get it to come off after you've painted it and left it for a little bit to settle. So So as you can see in the back, we're just right, that would probably be it. Slave 1 tank, yeah. Yeah, are you downloading it on the PC or? So again, like we did the other night, I'm not going to. In fact, do I just do it like that? Yeah. Let me redo this one. Because not everyone's going to want to spend hours doing the pin wash. So you can do the pin wash like that if you wanted. I need to get myself some more of those German Kalinskis. There it is. Don't we play it on the PC? And hopefully I'm going to start streaming us all playing it on the PC. So I've gone from the small brush to the big brush just to show that you can this will blend in the dry brushing as well, and with this being green, you're probably going to see it bring the green out a bit as well. So rather than doing very careful bits, let's just the quick approach. So that's just dry brushes, and then let's say Army Painter's military shader as the wash over the lot. And we can let that dry. And let's do exactly the same, forgetting that stuff's wet down there. So and this also means like the skill level is just big brush, knowing what to put where and how to do it, rather than being very careful doing pin washes and very careful doing this and that. So it's just dry brushes in increasing brightness, starting from the refractive, and then just wash over the whole lot. Yeah, Tomo, that's these things are not just for people who have spent half their lives painting. It should be accessible, and there should be ways for everyone to do it. Contrasts run off that ethos, but there's a lot of other ways out there than just contrast paints. As I say, there's washes and dry brushes that work all the way up to the same sort of standards. And we can let them dry. So should I look for that other stub while we let it dry? So we still have quite a few tanks to paint up. So if I was doing a lot of them, then I'd be looking at the fast methods, the quick ways. That was a 2-hour tank. I reckon 50-minute tank, 40-minute tank. If Martin was doing it, 30-second, no, 10-second tank. I hear all of his tanking exploits are really quick and. So, Stug. Right, what I am going to do to this, because I missed it on the one that I did yesterday, is there's a line down the barrel right at the top. So, if Snowy was here, he would tell you quite precisely, but I think there was things in things like the guns and stuff like that, and engines. The Germans gave us the tank sort of thing, and we did things to it. So, Stug. Airbrush. Kinga's gonna squeal like a little girl. It's probably gonna make Ash cry. Oof. Say we did give them cotton wool, mate, or our patented boom things. They're not ours, and they're not painted. They're Jack found them on Thingiverse, and we printed them. World of Tanks has two modes, and you've got to be able to turn it off. There's a historic mode, so basically if you don't want to see bright shiny tanks and weird patterns on them and stuff like that, you can actually turn a setting on so you only see the historical side of stuff. But we've all got, well, I don't think Snowy has, being a purist and all that, but we've got daft skins that go on the tanks. At the moment I've got yeah, I've got and he only does British tanks. Yeah, at the moment I've got an American T-42 that's all in boys, The Boys, as in the TV show with. You can either have The Boys or you can have the 9. Is it the 9? The 9 of with Homelander as the crew captain and stuff like that. No, but he does love the British tanks. Where's the cleaner? There's lots of better tanks in the game, and I mean much better at the tiers that he's at. But he'll still stick to the Churchill and the Carnarvon. He's just got the Carnarvon, which is really nice. I think Steve's using the Tortoise at the moment, or the other one, whichever one he... Tortoise or the Turtle. I've nearly got the Mouse. I've got the Mauerbrecher to get next, which I'm very close to getting, and then the Mouse is next. And the Mouse is definitely not a Mouse. Hiya, Philip. How are you? Look, that's a green. It's a white Stug. If Snowy kills me for this, then yous lot can come and find the body. You know what? I can't seem to find the Tesseract. Someone has done stolen it. Must be out somewhere. The Great Tesseract Heist. It's alright. I'll just use a new bottle of it. Oh, it's there. Now I find it. It comes out and goes, hi. No. I've got plenty. I definitely made sure I had plenty for lockdown. The dragon had it. This is going to trigger so many people, and I'm blaming yous lot for it. So it's definitely Martin, Kinga, Catherine. The only problem with this stuff as well, you have. I just realised that was very, very. Yeah, I do have both. Look, there's nothing there. I'm not shaking anything. Can't prove a thing. Yes. Thank you for the donation, X-Wing Tavern Wars. Oh, sorry I missed that again. Some of these notifications are being a bit naughty. Right, oh god. Oh, that's still wet. I'll leave that for now. The stats on the cards. Yes, they're over here somewhere. Nope. Almost the right gear. Da, da, da. So we have the proper box. Lee is getting at us. Probably within a day, Catherine. It's because of the pigment, it separates really quickly. Right, in the rule book, where's the card breakdown? There was a card breakdown. So, they actually say above the cards what they are. Sorry, I should have realised that. Let's have a close up while we're waiting for some bits to dry. So the Tiger is Firepower 5, Mobility 2, Survivability 2, Initiative 2, Hit Points. You've got your crew. So tells you which nation fielded the tank. Not too much of a problem. You basically can field cross factions. Name of the tank, how much it costs to add it to your platoon. Special rules are on there. History of the actual tank is on here. The type of tank, heavy, tells you what defense dice to roll. Base stats, initiative, which order the tanks move and shoot. X-wing. Yes, they're all black dice. I've not seen any different coloured ones yet. Initiative, firepower shows how many attack dice you roll, so he's rolling 5 attack dice. Survivability, how many defense dice, so attack, defense. Mobility is number of moves that a tank can make each phase. Each move is 1 movement stick long. It's got 1 movement stick in the game. Hit points is how many damage you can take. Yeah, I think there is only one type of dice in the whole game, sort of thing. So that's why they can do the different dice. 3 blank faces, 2 hits, and a crit. So it's a 50-50 whether you hit, and a 1 in 6 that you crit. Measuring stick just looks like that. So there's damage when you're destroyed, tank IDs, movement to show how many moves your tank made, and then all the rules. Cause it, unlike X-wing, it also depends how fast you were going on, how well you shoot and stuff like that. Yes, you do. You basically put the tank track at the front, and then you slide it all the way down to the arrow point. And yes, Kinger, definitely. I've no idea. I've not played it yet. We haven't had anyone available to play. Snowy managed to get a couple of games in on TTS because there is a TTS demo of the first one. I think it's all preset, but there's definitely TTS out there to try it. Right. I'm out of breath now. Some things seem to be freezing. Cool, there we go. So, I'm hoping this is nearly drying. There's a few that I quite fancy that haven't been released yet. I definitely want the Tiger. I'm gonna love painting the Tiger. IS2, I quite fancy. Pershing as well. Churchill. There was quite a lot that I fancied, so hence having Tank Week. Might have another. Sorry, Tank Month. Might have another one. I'm trying to get the hairdryer, by the way. If you wondered what I was fighting with under the table. Ramming definitely works in World of Tanks, because I've had some interesting times with that mechanic. Just remember, if the tank that you're ramming is bigger than you, it's going to hurt you. While I'm doing that as well, quick drink of my coffee. There it is, a small brush. I was instructed from Jack last night. Yes, 15mm scale, mate. Very Flames of War size. We're looking at playing a few different games off the back of it. Flames of War, maybe, but again, I need Snowy. Chain of Command, I think it was. There's tank versions of it in that, so we've been looking at some scenery as well, some 15mm scenery. So what I'm needing to do now, and Jack told me off for it, is right in the back down there is a spade, and I need to paint it brown. There we go. Actually, it's more of a shovel. And then I'm going to do the shovel plate, or the head, or whatever people want to call it, in black. Just because it wouldn't be shiny, so having a black head on the shovel. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the shovel is painted in the gap. There we go. Right, that is now definitely done. The shovel's done, Jack, just for you. Well, just for me, because it's my tank. Right, how close are we on these things? I think the worst part on these is actually waiting for the paints to dry. So I'll leave that one there for now. It's good enough to go. It's good enough to go. I don't believe I'm doing this. I'm definitely blaming you, Catherine. So I'm not sure how good this camouflage is going to be. I said I'm going to for the Tesseract tank. At least I don't have to worry about the tracks, because I will get the tracks in the same way that I got them for the other tanks. But as Snowy said, the wheels have to be in the correct colours. See, this is something Catherine could play and paint at the same time. There's a full set of tanks on Panzer Girls that would look absolutely smart. That saves me from having to do them as well. I did actually like the idea of it, the anime short. It was all about, for some reason, the war's over and blah de blah, but all of the tanks, they keep finding tanks hidden away all over the place, and they go to tank school, and these tanks are then put into battles against, it's basically like Pokemon. You go round big helicarrier thing, and they go around the world fighting against the other schools. No one dies, it just, when the tank's blown up, it just pops a flag and it's towed off, sort of thing. It was actually quite canny. But all of the tanks, the school that you follow, or it's all about, all of their tanks are painted by the crew exactly how they want and the colours that they want, and they're like misfits sort of thing. It is quite funny. Things like tigers in panthers in bright pink and stuff like that. And so there we have it, the Tesseract tank. Just gonna let it dry now. So I could actually do it as a ghost tank and go with the ethereal Tesseract look. We got some good results with that. I might do that. So yeah, the Ghost Stug. These are nearly drying, so what I'm going to do is, while they are drying, they've gone a lot darker than I anticipated. That army shader is, but they've gone very nicely dark. So to do the wheels, I'm going to use the refractive green as a dry brush, but I'm going to add a bit of black into it to darken it up, which is already on there, so we're good to go. Je ne comprends pas. I know understandy. So we've got the, where did I put the, under the, and don't know if that might need to be a bit brighter. So I'm just going to it is just a dry brush of the refractive green. It's a bit of a mix, so you can see it. I think to get the actual colour to properly it's going to have to be the full thing like that, and then the army shader down it again. It's the 50-50 mix of the greens. It's not on the tracks, it's just on the wheels. Try and rub it off the tracks if you can. But then I'm going to also do the wash on the wheels. So they paint all the wheels the same colour as they paint the tanks. They don't do them in the metal. That was my mistake. I've not been playing around with tanks and painting them for long, so they don't do them in silver because reflective, give away position, get shot by sniper tanky. So that's how I've so we've got that. It will once this dries off, matching with what's that is. So there we go, and army shader again, army shader, army shader, army shader, military shader. Oh, it's in the pot, so I'll just use it out the pot. And could do with a bit more. I might thin that down a bit actually. So army painter do quick shade mixing medium, and this is just like bit like lamium, but for their paint, for their washes. There we go. See how it lightens the green a bit, so the green looks as though it is paint, and it has been, sorry again, it looks like the paint's been applied. It has darkened it, but as you can see from the top it looks alright once it's finished drying, which hasn't done fully, but it shouldn't take too long. Probably won't get these done tonight, I started to do two instead of just concentrating on one. But the washes that we're using and the way we're using the washes, it tends to be a lot A lot more drying time. As you can see, it's still wet on the top slightly. Which Stug? Stug. 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 No, once you do the dry brushing and stuff like that, Tomo, they go pretty decent. They're not too bad. But then again, they weren't massively. I think the Stug was the worst one. But that just needs coating. Once it's had its coating, it's ready to go. These two need to dry. And then details on them. And then we're down to I was tempted to see about doing this one even quicker. It's not Agrax, mate. It is military shader, washes by quick shade, and it is still wet because look, I've still got it I've just got it on my finger off that one. So my other idea was even quicker method. So obviously they all come in primer. So I was going to try a wash and dry brush. So this is just the 50/50 Nullin Agrax wash. This is the Panzer. This is the wash brush, and it doesn't have the line down the gun, so I don't need to worry about that. But let's have a. So just going down the route of very quickly wave painting it. Within minutes you'll probably have already improved on the core colour from what it comes out with just doing a wash, because you get the shading, you get the details picked out and stuff like that. And that is just off the back of a wash. You start to get quite a lot of detail. So take my fingerprints off it now. Again, I'll do the same with the tracks on this with the wash afterwards. Sorry, the type is corrosion. But I'll be interested to see, because what I'll do is I'll do something similar to before, like I did on the other one, but backwards. So get the wash in, so you can see where all the details are, and then do a bit of a build up of just sticking the dry brushes over it. So again, both sides with that. It will see it goes patchy and quite interesting. So these could be as quick as 10-minute paint jobs if you felt that way inclined, if that makes sense. Because you could just quickly blast over them on a morning before going to work, stick a wash on them, come home after work and do the tracks, do the dry brush and put on the table. But that from the offset starts to look more detailed already. And you just pick out plates where if you think you've got too much on and it's starting to streak, you just I don't mind that look as well, the stained look along the bottom. I'm going to add some more to this side again to try and get that stained look the same. Let it all drop down a bit like that. Oop. That's another one, just needs drying. Have I missed anything? Yes, Panzer. Panzers, Panthers. Yeah, that sort of thing. So that is starting to dry up nicely now. I should have realised that the turret would hold some underneath it. But if I... There we go. So the texture on that, I don't know if you can see it, but it's come out really nice. That the army shade is quite nice. I think it does have a glossy texture to it as well, but it still does have damp patches. I think it's a 50-50 ash. There is damp, but there is satin-y. So that's them too. So what I'm going to do with this is look for an old box or something to put it on. Ah. Basically, when I do all my figures, once they're finished, I use Tester's dull coat and just give it a quick, doesn't need much, just a quick blast, seals the paint in and it dulls off any of what could be going on with these. So, and that is ready to go. 1 down, 7 to go. And it smells so good. What do we have? That's okay. So if I hadn't done the wheels, I probably would have done a quick coat on them by now. For that. So do I do it with that, or do I do it with my 50-50 mix of grey? Or that one? Sterland Mud, Agrex, Nullin, Bottle of Typhus Corrosion, everything but what I'm looking for. Is that it? There it is. So my other way of doing tracks is using Abaddon Black and Mechanicus Standard Grey mix. It's a 50-50. I got some paint on my mat, yeah. My mat is covered in paint. I do need a new mat. It again with just some sort of layer brush, nothing. It's actually, yeah, I'm actually using a shade brush. I'm going to thin it down quite a bit to get it into the tracks. So this is just half and half Mechanicus grey and Abaddon black, or whatever black it was at the time. Abaddon black and Mechanicus standard grey. Add a bit of thinners to it, just to thin it down so it's liquidier. It might take a couple of coats of this, but I'm trying just to hit the tracks. Don't know how successful that'll be. Because it is still, it's very sticky. I shouldn't be doing this so quick. Yeah. With it upside down, should be able to quickly just, again, it's fairly liquid, fairly runny, because I know it just needs to go into the grooves, and then I'll pick the other bits up with whatever colour I decide to do the metalwork in. So down that track. And again, you can do this whatever tank you're doing. If you thin the paint down, it may take 2 coats. It'll probably take a lot longer if you're trying to get thick paint into all of the grooves. But if you're doing any kind of highlighting or anything like that, you're going to lift the track raised bits anyway with whatever you do. So if the darker colour isn't on there, it's not so much of an issue. There we go. Some splashes of the grey, as if it's grey mud. There we go. So what I'm looking for here is where the paint hasn't settled in the gaps, just to get a bit more into it, make sure it Right, gun barrel. What colour for the gun barrel? Black? If I do a black gun barrel, actual black, not this mixed black. It is the problem I'm having. I'm painting it wet, and I shouldn't be. So what I'll get is that sort of colour, flip it over. See what I mean? It's gone slightly grey there. So let's have a bit more in there. Can't touch the tracks. So a bit further on with him. I will pick some bits of black out, and obviously the black and the black and the green look absolutely fantastic together. So things like I'll probably do the hatches. Thing. Yeah, just getting a bit of something to contrast it with. I shouldn't be doing it yet because it is still wet, but if I don't, there's nothing else to paint. I've not looked at doing the other ones yet, and I don't think I've got the colours for the British and American stuff, but I will get round to them. There we go. Some of the stowage is done in the black. And hopefully the tracks will come out great. And then a quick wash on them with Nullin over that grey, and you get basically highlighted black. That's how I use that. So yeah, the drying, you can see that the grey, that's cool. I didn't see that bit there where I'd missed. There you go. So I'll put that down before getting my sticky fingers all over it. What I am going to do is use this cloth with some airbrush cleaner and clean my fingers. There we go. That's strong. So there we go. We're halfway through probably the 2 Russian tanks. I think, as Ash said, they may have gone to the point of needing a matte spray before I continue on. I'll take that off there because that is starting to. So that, yeah, that's going how I wanted it to. So that one I'll do the dry brushing and that sort of stuff. You asked for that one, so we'll continue with that one as it all dries up. I'm going to possibly do, if I can get it working properly, a game of tank session Saturday night, possibly. See how things go. We'll live stream it. We'll get the whole squadron involved. You can hear all of us going stupid. I'm enjoying painting them as well, mate. I might actually do something similar, or try and find some other tanks to paint. So, which brings me to the next thing. We'll have a look at that, what I'm wanting to possibly do next week, because tanks again. But I decided that the giveaway, the month giveaway, is going to be the American Fallout tank. So at the end of the month, the top 5 of you guys will go in to win my lovely, lovely resin. It weighs a ton. Solid resin, twin-barreled American behemoth. So yeah, that's. I'm the top guy. I don't know. Donations, where is it? You can actually look at it when you go to... not Twitch Inspector. That's because I've got a fault. Stream. If you go to the bit where you do the normal... the donate button, that's the one. We have, at the moment, the top 5 are Ulfric on £10, Archnin on £10, X-Wing Tavern Wars. Oh, you git. Yes. So yes, Ulfric, Archnin, X-Wing Tavern Wars, all on £10 each. Doom Fairies, Dead Steve, and Ash all on £5 each. So that is cool. So what I am going to do, probably next week, is I'll probably be finishing these off. But this has been sat on my desk for years. I got this from up the road. These are not an easy tank to get hold of. They are the Corgi Tiger One. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this because I've wanted a tiger in grey. So I'm going to do it in the Dunkelgrau set. But I'm going to do this one to a lot better level than what I normally do. I'm going to try and make a proper job of it. I'm going to look into what colours. I'm saying I want to do it because I also like the 131 and do the 131. I don't know. Might do the Tiger 131 because I've got one of them in World of Tanks. But yes, I'm going to paint that up. And I've also got some... Seb sent me some last month. Bits and pieces for bolt action, all German tanks, so I'll probably have plenty of tanks to choose from to paint up. I might actually be spoilt for choice. Put some of these away. Let me have a quick look, see which ones I can find. Oh, there's so much junk up here. Found them. That's 1, 2. I've got one of them. I think this was from a bulk lot I bought, and I just kept all the tanks to paint. Yep. I believe I've got Seb to blame for all of these tanks. So we have a Panzer Glasses, so I can actually read these. These are bolt action, so they're a bit bigger. They're a little bit smaller than that, but they're a lot bigger than the 15mm. These are 1/56th scale. What scale was that? Did it say? No. So I've got the Panzer. It comes with decals. It also comes with full set of water slides, and there's various ways to make them. So I've got one of them. I have two of the Panzer IIs, A, B or C's. Again, they come with, these have got damage markers. So I've got two of them, build them both two different ways. Thank you very much, Jack. Are you ready for this, Jack? I have a Sherman Vc Firefly. I think I bought this because I'd just done Stee, the Fury. I was like, I want to do a tank. Oh. And then I do actually own the 131, so I might do this as the 131 and that as a grey one. So yeah, so there is a tank commander in there if you want to use him. Right, there is another Tiger out there, Jack. Tanks a lot, Jack. Wow, that is bad even for doing fairies. There's a not a limited edition one, but there's a named tank out there, and I can never remember which one it is. But again, it's by Warlord for bolt action. Yes, you're feeding my tank addiction as well. So, have I got my Panzer? My Panzer's still up here. Sorry if I knock the cameras. I do have a Panzer. I will admit, this wasn't painted by me, and it has got an inch thick of overspray or dust on it. So this is a Warlord Games one, and I believe I did the tracks on it because it's in my usual track colours. So it's a canny one. I didn't pay much for it. I think I paid something like 10-15 quid for it. I might have thrown it back up on eBay by now. Oh no, Ash, I've just been ammo racked. Didn't know it did that. Ammo racking the Tesseract one. So you can see the rough size difference because they're the same tank. Just this one doesn't have the side plates on. But if you look, the details are pretty good on both of them. Yes, this doesn't have the extra arm around it, but it's still got the spares wheels in there. This one has extras there, but because of these plates, that one can't have it. Everything's in the same place. It looks absolutely cool. So yeah, Jack, I will definitely go on this magical carpet ride of tank painting with you. So I decided to make a tank paint colour draw. So I went through all of the colours, and I obviously got myself the Panzer Aces. I'm blaming you again, Jack. So that's my tank paints now. These are all stuff from tanks. These are the MIG colours for doing the vehicle washes, enamels. I've had them for ages, but just not ever done anything with them. So I've got fresh mud. I've got very old MIG concrete powders. I do have some Flames of War paint somewhere, which I don't know where I've put, so they might turn off. No, that's my Tesseract draw. Then we've got the Rust Effect, which is, again, it's all oil-based, which, I've had these for a while. Standard Rust Effects, and you can see it's all separated in there. It just needs a good shake up. Oil and grease stain mix. Natural iron oxide. Vallejo pigments, that is dark yellow ochre for the sand. But we do have all of the Vallejo pigments in and stuff like that for it. But I'm going to look at getting some of the bits and pieces. Cool. No, so what they've done so far is you get the core set. The core set comes with those 4. So you get the Panzer, the 34, the Sherman and the Cromwell in the starter set. It's only 30 quid, mate. It's nothing. No, Jack, would I Tesseract a tank? So Wave 1 was the expansions that we've just got, which is the Stug, the SU, the M3 Lee, and the Valentine. But next month they're releasing all of these 4 again in upgrades, in expansions, but you get different versions of the tanks, if that makes sense. So the Sherman might have a Firefly card with it. We definitely have a Stug. So far on my painted bench, I've got a... So look, Jack, I even did the... oh, you can't see on that one. Close up, just for you. Can you see I've painted the shovel. And the wheels that I forgot about. So the wheels are all painted. And I've greyed everything rather than having them in shiny metal. Because obviously Snowy shouted at me. So that one's done. And it has actually had its coating on it now. So it is playable. So that will go into his box. The Russian ones, I did it slightly different to yours, mate. So they were... I found... refractive green and intermediate, so I did have them. So what I did was to show people that you can do this without an airbrush. I basically started with pure refractive and dry brushed it, and then added a bit of intermediate, and then did it up and up and up and up till we got to it, which you can see the difference in the edges and stuff like that. And then I've used a new stuff. I've never tried it before. Quick Shade Military Shader. It's gone slightly shiny. So what I need to do is wait till it all dries and then give it a dull coat. But we've used the Tesseract again, and I'll use Dawnstone instead of the silver. So it's just looking grey under there. But I dry brushed all of these back with the 50-50 mix. So all of the wheels are in the green. I've army shaded them so it matches the rest of the tank as well. And then I've got to go back and do the details. But you can just see it glinting there. It looks as though the army shader is actually satin. So I need to matte that down before going any further. I'll do that before next week. So you can actually see there is like a glossiness to them. So I will be I'll do some remedial work during the week, sort of thing. So 1 out of the 9 so far. I might have more tanks by next week. We'll do the Tiger as well. I'll start on the Tiger. I don't know how much I'll need to take apart. I know the tracks need to come off, if they do. Yeah, the tracks do come off. So the tracks are just rubberized tracks. Yes, it did look part oil. I think they're all cogged inside. Oh, sorry. $30, so 30 quid. Might be a bit. Yeah, I'll probably get one just to see. If it's worth it, sort of thing. If it's $30, we get it for 25. We might get it for 25 if we're lucky. So yeah, that's the tracks off. Oh no, it's a quite speedy. So yeah, I'll get all that primed up and start looking at snapping bits off if I'm not careful. They're actually movable towing eyes. I knew this was quite a detailed kit. I didn't know it was that detailed though. The towing eyes on the back move. No, they're part of the metal. So yeah, I think I'll try and pick some of the bits off that may need to be done separate, and we'll give it a paint. The gun seems to be loose as well. So, the screws are rivets. Let's have a look. Screws. Might do it in bits. Seems to be that it comes apart. So, didn't realise the time. Let me put that over there. And so, as I was going through, we've done the 2 Russian ones in the dry brushing technique. People can go back. These will be going all up on on YouTube over the weekend, or if you want to get them, they're on Twitch for the next month at least. So, but if you want, you can see how we did them. Yesterday we did that one with the airbrush in an hour and a half, a couple of little touch-ups afterwards. This is the quicker test version, which so far is just a wash. Oh, that garage isn't bad for 30 quid, I'll have that. So obviously we've done the wash and got the wash down on it, and that's just the wash straight out the packet, and that's just a 50-50 Nullin and Lamium medium wash. You've got lots of the detail coming out. It does need to dry, but from that I want to dry brush, pick out some detail and see if I can do like a 30-40 minute tank. If that works, I might do a video doing the Stug, the other Stug that I've got, not the Tesseract one, in 30-40 minutes, like a speed Stug. So yeah, and yes, we have the one that I'm going to blame you lot for, the brightest tank on the battlefield, which is going to get killed first every time. I'm pretty much guaranteeing it. Jack will go straight for it. Everyone's going to go straight for it. So, let's have the pile of tanks over there for now. Ready to go. I need a tank transporter like the garage. So, that'll be the next thing I get. To put them all in. Oh, I might have a look for some foam bits. Tesseract tank is the best. So when Snowy shouts at you all, it's your own fault. So, Right. Where are we? We are 9 o'clock. It's, yeah, the My Little Pony Desi was very special. So yes, thank you everyone for coming by tonight. Thank you everyone that's followed, the new subscribers as well. The donations are greatly appreciated. It means I can do more giveaways like the big tanks like this. You know that everything that I get and do, the money wise, all goes back into the stream. If I'm ever earning 50 grand a week like some of these Uber peoples, then I might take some for myself, but it's just us guys. I'd prefer all the money to go back into the stream. We don't need any technical bits at the moment. Paint and bits and pieces the business pays for, but everything else is good to go, so I can put it back into getting you guys nice shiny prizes and bits and pieces like that. So again, thank you everyone for subbing, subscribing, following, and just being here. And I will catch you, hopefully, if we can get it working, sometime over the weekend, where T Squadron Nutters will be playing World of Tanks on this stream. The computer game, not the miniatures game. So, catch you all later. Take care. Stay safe.